Hey, happy Wine Wednesday.
Cheers. Happy Wine Wednesday. Mira Boucher. Hope you're having a good day.
Yes, how about you, Carl Boucher?
Oh, I can't complain. Happy Wine Wednesday, Canadian wine lovers, Carl's Wine Club members, all of you across the country. Another hour here that we're going to chat about wine, that we're going to chat about what happened last week, what's coming up in the next few weeks, but also it's going to be a fun one. We're going to blind taste Mira today. Yes, yes, yes. So, because again, over the weekend, we had a few good wines and we saw the tremendous difference of passing some big wines through the Enovino. And geez, that every time that we do the exercise, there's such an amazing difference. So we're like, hey, we need to bring that to life again. So we had a few cases left here at the office. So we said, okay, let's do it. Let's talk about it. And I was like, what can we do? I was like, Mira, you should blind taste me. She's like, why should I blind taste you? Why don't you blind taste me? I'm like, you got it. You got it.
Well, maybe
So,
we'll blind taste you too.
if you want to, you go ahead. You go ahead.
So so this is not my first time being blind tasted, but it's one of the first. So for those of you that don't know me that well yet, I started drinking wine during the pandemic, and Carl here has been drinking wine. Well, he's been tasting wine for over 25 years, tens of thousands of wines worth tens of thousands, like crazy kinds of wines. And then there's me, who started drinking wine during the pandemic and really doesn't know a whole lot other than what I like and what I don't like. But I have been very spoiled, and because Carl gets to taste some incredible wines. So I have, through experience, learned some things.
You have a pretty spoiled palate. You didn't have to go through the entry level California, sweet California, or the crappy Chilean Merlot or green cab sub, or the over extracted $18 Australian Shiraz. So you had the privilege to skip that painful step into a wine career. So you should feel very blessed.
I am extremely blessed, very spoiled, and I know it. So yeah, this has been good.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
can see behind Mira, like last, I would say eight weeks, we've been doing our show from the backyard with a beautiful, beautiful view and all of that. And it's pretty cloudy today, pretty dark, pretty cloudy. So I'm back inside for the first time in a while. Not sure if I feel good about that, but anyway, it is
I
what
know
it is.
summer is slowing down. Tell us where you are in the country and what it's looking like for you this Wine Wednesday. Leave a note in the comments. We always love to see that. But yeah, so let's
What's
check
in
this
your
out.
glass? I want to know what's in your glass. It's one of the most important questions. What's in your glass? Where does it come from? I have here, first and foremost, this is the brand new 13th Street Sauvignon Blanc 2021 vintage. We just got the box last week after another shipping fiasco, but well, let's not get there again because I'm gonna
Oh,
get mad. And anyway,
that was
after another
completely
shipping
our fault.
fiasco this week, we
We
finally
sent
get.
we sent our own wines to an incorrect old address that we moved from a long time ago. So that was fun.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
completely
yeah, yeah. But there's some really precious wine in that box, aka the brand new 2007 from 13th Street. So, okay, before we move anywhere, like, let's talk about that.
yes.
At the last All Canadian Wine Championship, the Wine Align Wine Championship, uh, 13th Street Winery was named number one winery in Ontario and number two winery in Canada. They took the top award for two of their wines as well, platinum, including the 2015 Première Cuvée Sparkling Méthode Traditionnelle that back in all the way early April that I tasted that wine, and I like to pat my back. I love pat my back a little bit. Come on, I like doing that, and I'm gonna do it without even feeling bad. So in April, I tasted that one. And if you read my tasting note, I mentioned probably one of, if not the best sparkling in Canada. I gave it a 95 or 95 plus points to a 2015 Première Cuvée from 13th Street, mentioning that Jean-Pierre Cotta is an absolute master, blah, blah, blah. Fast forward to August. That 2017 Première Cuvée won platinum. Best sparkling in Canada, the highest rated sparkling in the show. So I was pretty proud of myself. Boom, boom. So yeah,
We've
but
done that a few times this year. So this is
yeah,
why our newest project with archiving all your notes is really important, because then we can be like, look, it's time stamped. There it was months before anyone else knew about it. So
even if our members, some of our members sometimes complain that I rate the wines a little too high and this and that. Well, you know, we have the privilege to taste the cream of the cream every week. And yeah, some others like the Syrah from Maverick, the Bush Vines, I give it a 94, and some other from Wine and Line give it a 94 as well. And after me, so anyway, okay, so that's for the Premier Cuvée. And because they won that big award, top champagne method in the show, they sold out. They sold out in a flash after the big award. So 13th Street sent me right away the new vintage, the 2017 vintage, and we just got the bottles yesterday. I got 2 bottles to taste. I'm pretty darn excited of tasting this. What I've heard through the grapevines is the 2017 for sparkling in Ontario should be spectacular. And comments and some little hints from the winery that they're expecting this wine to be as good, if not better, than the 2015. So we're pretty excited. We're going to taste it in a few. I don't think that bottle will last past the weekend. It should be tasted in just a few days. So, but anyhow, they also included the brand new 2021 Sauvignon Blanc right in here, and there's a couple reds as well in the box that we're gonna taste it. Because 13th Street. If you don't know 13th Street, if you haven't ever had a chance to pull the trigger on an order from 13th Street, you need to try it. This is one of the hidden gems in the country. Their price points are absolutely incredible. Well-priced wine, high-end, and guess what? They even just won platinum with their new Syrah. They haven't made Syrah for 6 or 7 years, and boom, one-off release, platinum. And we know because we tasted it this summer, early in the summer when the wine was not released yet. We were there and we tasted with other winemakers. And I remember Rob Amersley's face and Mike Laplante, the wine enthusiast. There you go. You are here, Mike, just tuning in. I'm talking about you when you had your first sip of 13th Street Syrah at the winery. And you look at Rob and we all look at each other. We're like, holy shit, this is freaking good. And yeah, they just won platinum. So yeah, if you haven't a chance to try on 13th Street, you'd have to get your hand on some of their bottles. Cap Franc, spectacular. Gamay, spectacular. Sparkling, traditional method, best in the country. We just got their Pinot Noir. I haven't tasted any Pinots from 13th Street just yet, after 2 years of tasting their wines. Oh, Viognier. Again, we opened the Viognier from 13th Street over the weekend with friends at home. That wine stole the show. Like of all night, that was one of the most solid wine, and so we had some 50
side by side with a BC Viognier just because we thought it'd be fun, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, this 13th Street stole the show. It was by far our favorite amongst all of us. And then what stole the show is we looked at the price points, and it was $21.95 including tax, Whereas the other one we tasted, still a good wine, but it was over $10 more
expensive. And anyway, so yeah, that was my little plug here for 13th Street. No, we're not featuring 13th Street next week or this and that. We always have 13th Street available on Carl's Cellar, always. So yeah,
well,
but
I'm gonna at the moment. Although if you wanted to email us, we'll put it through. But we're just updating our tasting notes, and that's hence tasting all these new wines. So,
but I'm gonna report back very soon on Carl's Wine Club VIP about the 17 première cuvée that we're just waiting for a fish store, a seafood store to get their new batch, their batch of fresh oyster, and I'm probably gonna be heading out there, get a dozen of oysters, and we're gonna pop open the 13th Street première cuvée. New release, the 2017. I'm pretty excited. But me,
we need to think of something to celebrate, Carl. I think it's our engagement anniversary coming up.
What?
Our engagement anniversary.
Oh,
see, yes, I never remember these things, but my mom, every year, she's like, happy engagement anniversary.
Yeah. If your niece doesn't listen, I believe your niece probably don't listen to the show, but yeah, I should remember that engagement anniversary. That's the day that your dog died, right on my foot, before I ask your dad if I can marry you, right? Yeah, I remember that. I just don't remember the date.
Well, the family dog passed away at age of 12 or 13 in front of Carl. Yeah, Carl was the only witness, you see, and it was maybe 20 minutes before he was going to propose.
Yeah.
So that worked out really well because he was going to talk to my dad first and then come inside and propose. And then he had to go talk to my dad about the dog.
The dog was laying dead and that was laying flat on his side beside me.
Let's not keep talking about it, though.
Okay, so yeah. Why did we talk about it? Oh, because our anniversary, engagement anniversary. Woof. Okay.
So we have something to celebrate in September if we were looking for a reason to crack that.
No, it's work. It's about work. We just got some samples. One of the most sought after bottles who just won Best Sparkling in the country. New release. So that's work. It's working. Like that. Okay.
That's right.
Hey, Pierre Nollet, un beau bonjour à mon chum Pierre qui vient de tuner in de Québec, la belle ville de Québec. Pierrot, un beau meeting aujourd'hui. À tous nos membres francophones, à tous les amateurs de vin canadiens, un beau bonsoir, un bon mercredi. C'est notre Wednesday Wine Happy Hour. On vous souhaite la bienvenue de partout en province de Québec, que ce soit de la région de Québec, la région des Bois-Francs, la région de l'Estrie, partout au Québec. Un beau bonjour à tous nos amateurs de vin francophones. Beau meeting aujourd'hui avec les gens d'Alfred, la boutique Alfred. On a jasé... on s'était booké un petit meeting juste pour se présenter. C'était supposé de se faire vite. Presque 2 heures de meeting avec les gens de la boutique Alfred. Un projet fantastique qui est en branle au Québec depuis 2015. Un système d'inventaire pour vos celliers. Si vous cherchez un outil de gestion de cellier pour calculer qu'est-ce que vous avez dans votre cave, c'est le plus beau système disponible. Aussi, une plateforme de vente et d'achat directement d'acheteurs et vendeurs privés. Vous pouvez mettre vos vins à vendre sur la plateforme. En tout cas, c'est un système absolument incroyable. Puis, on a eu un beau meeting avec les gens qui roulent la boutique Alfred aujourd'hui, de voir comment est-ce que Carl's Wine Club peut être impliqué avec les nouveaux développements d'Alfred, apporter un petit peu plus de contenu en vin canadien parce que la plateforme est très focusée sur les grands vins de Bordeaux, sur les grands vins de collectionneurs. Mais qu'est-ce que Carl's Wine Club peut apporter de plus en contenu canadien d'Alfred? Aussi peut-être d'organiser des voyages mémorables en Colombie-Britannique avec Carl's Wine Club. En tout cas, un beau meeting avec la gang de Alfred. C'était super. Fait qu'un beau merci à mon chum Pierre qui a organisé tout ça. On a bien hâte de voir les développements de tout ça. Donc, un beau bonjour en français à tous nos amateurs de vin canadiens. Aujourd'hui, on blind taste Mira. OK? Un vin qui a été passé dans le Enovino versus un vin qui était directement de la bouteille au verre. C'est quoi le Enovino? C'est notre petit outil de décantation ici. OK? La petite tube en métal qu'on met dans la bouteille. Puis ça aère le vin. Et puis c'est comme si, Mira, you're a freaking genius. You were freaking ready. Wow, I love it. This is freaking amazing. So, à toutes les fois, moi, j'utilise ça maintenant parce que tu n'as pas besoin de décanter le vin. Hier, c'était la journée internationale du Cabernet, la journée nationale du Cabernet Sauvignon.
Oh, so we're having a Cab Sauv. Okay.
Ben oui, of course we have a Cab Sauv. But Jesus, monkeys. We had to. It was Cabernet Sauvignon day yesterday. Yeah. So, au lieu de décanter la bouteille au complet, ce petit outil-là, ça décante le vin un verre à la fois. Donc là, Mira, elle a un verre qui était versé quand j'ai ouvert la bouteille en premier.
I mixed them up. So I have two. I have one on the left, one on the right. One's taller.
Puis, on va voir si Mira peut faire la différence. So I'm just talking here. I was just explaining in French what we're going to do tonight, how we're blind taste Mira. One who was throughout, like straight out of the bottle. I popped the cork, pour in the bottle, pour in the glass, and the other one.
So Cab Sauv, a young one like this, what year is it?
So yeah. So now let's talk about the wine because we just got the confirmation. So Maverick Estate Winery, one of the members' favorite. If you remember, in January, it was our first winery featured this year in 2022. Maverick became one of the absolute discovery this year. We remember the big wow with the 2019 Bush Vine Syrah, right? 94 points. Mira's favorite.
Well, I like that one. I liked it more than
so now 2019 Syrah Bush Vine is completely sold out. They just released the 2020. We tasted it, almost as good to me. I give it a 93 plus. But they also just released a brand new 100% Cabernet Sauvignon from the Golden Mile in Oliver, BC. So this is really, really, really young, brand new, not overly powerful in alcohol in a sense. It's well balanced, 13.5%. So it's well balanced, but very young. They told me you should sit that bottle down for a while, but because I want to test it, we're going to use that tonight. And stay tuned tomorrow for a full tasting note. We'll see. But now we opened up one of the glass that Mira has. I did the same for me. One of the glass we have is straight out of the bottle. And after that, I Enovino'd a glass each. Okay. So, and I use this one, first and foremost, Cabernet Sauvignon is one of the grape varietal that has to be decanted the most of the time. And also it was Cabernet Sauvignon day yesterday. So I had to hold back Mira all day yesterday. Hold on, we're going to do it tomorrow. So here we are today, the day after Cabernet Sauvignon Day. We're cracking Maverick, brand new release of the 2020 Cab Sauv. This is our first time ever releasing a full 100% Cab Sauv. So that's what we have.
All right, I'm excited. So, because this is the thing, like, we have a hard time with decanting wine. Sometimes we open a ton of wines and you try to put them all in decanters. You can't, right? You lose track of which decanter is what. And we don't always think ahead far enough. So anyways, we use this Enovino a lot, even on white wine sometimes. Okay, so I'm going to tell you right now, I'm smelling them, right? One sec here. So I get more out of the one on the right, on the nose. What I'm looking for to see if I can tell the difference. I know it's the same wine, right? And the best party trick.
The one on your left is the taller glass, right?
Yes, the taller
Yeah.
one. So it could be the glass too. It's a taller glass. I don't know. But what
No, no,
really,
no. It's just the stamp. The stamp is taller. Like on your
oh,
right, you have a bigger bowl.
oh, you're right. You're right.
The bowl is bigger on
So
the right.
fun party trick. We should do this next time we have some members together, Carl. Give people like exactly what I have here. Same wine, one with Enovino and one without, and see if people think it's the same wine or not. Like just see if people think there's differences or not. And we did that once, just the
Yeah.
two of us, and we were like, yeah, they seem very different. So it's really interesting.
Do you get the pencil shaving like
We do
your
get
old
pencil shaving.
pencil from elementary school when you go
Oh
like
yeah.
put it in the little machine and you
I definitely seem to get more off the one on the right. Okay. So I don't feel like, okay, for you guys, I guess it would be the one on the left. So I get more out of this one on the nose.
as you
Okay.
should.
Let's taste them.
Everyone, well, if you're just tuning in, we're blind tasting Mira here. Which wine went through the Enovino, which one did not? We are trying, I opened the brand new Cabernet Sauvignon 2020 from Maverick Estate here, brand new, young Cabernet. So basically a wine that has to be decanted. So we're talking here with how efficient the Enovino is. I just tasted both. To me, it's just not the same wine at all. It is just
Okay.
so
These are
freaking
very different. I just hope that I'm getting this right, because before we did this, I'm super nervous about this kind of stuff, right? So Carl's like, well, do you want me to just tell you or give you a hint or something? I'm like, no, you can't, right? So I actually really seriously don't know. So
She
take it for
doesn't. And I tried to
all it
cheat.
is,
I
though.
tried to cheat. And she's like, no, don't tell me. I'm like, ah, come on. You don't want to.
No, I
No.
can't act. So I mean, geez, like if you tell me, I'll give it away right away. The thing is, I have tasted wine that is and isn't Enovino before, so maybe that's a bit of a bias, but I don't know, not really, because so here's what I
Well, I
gotta say.
can tell this is the very first time that you taste a very young cab. At that stage, and to be honest, this wine should be at the winery still. Should have not have left the tasting room just yet. So this is a
Oh, thanks,
brand new release. So
Okay, well, if all else fails, you can tell which one I enjoy more. And it's this one that I had more on the nose on. I also get more on the palate. So what I get is more length, and it's just a smoother experience, okay? And what I wanted to say is you can tell what wine I like more whenever I'm doing a blind tasting, because you can tell which one I take more sips out of.
let's and I'll brief the members or listener what happened on last Saturday at our home. We had some people over and what happened. I blind tasted everyone, and again, Mira is giving hint to everyone there by by drinking the one she likes the fastest. So people look at her glass to call out what's the wine or not. So it's so funny. So Mira, you're 100% right. The one on your right, the one with the bigger bowl, is the Enovino. The taller stamp is
Okay.
the one straight out of the bottle.
It's not even a question for me right now. Like, just to be honest, like if you rewind this, you'll see I'm drinking more out of this one. That is the shorter stem. That is the Enovino one, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
it is. It is. I just did both twice. You nailed it right away on the nose. You have much more coming out of the nose. And that's what it is. That's what the Enovino does. It's like decanting your wine 2 hours, 3 hours. It's just soften up all of the edges. It's just like aging the wine very quickly. Just give that wine some air, like breaking down the molecules, making sure that there's no tightness, less tension in that wine. And that's what it is. It's because it just turned out into a much smoother, and then especially in this wine, that texture comes out pretty darn Well,
Clay.
good evening, Clay Martin. I absolutely love that. I love having you on. Welcome to the show. It's great to have you, Clay. Yes, wine softens my edges too. Absolutely.
But I'm serious. Like this one is that young Cab Sauv that's a little too much for me. The one
Yeah.
without the Enovino. Like it's
Kind of
really
rip
like it's
kind of rips your
interesting, but
face off a bit, right? Kind of rips
I'm
your
not
face
really
off a
like
bit.
looking to take more sips of this. If I have an option, like I got this Sauv Blanc here, I'm gonna go for that other one. But this one with the Enovino is way more enjoyable. I'm, again, if I have the option, I'm totally going for this one.
If I had to, if I, okay, let's say I didn't know an Enovino, I didn't have an Enovino at home, and I knew I was opening that really young 2020 Maverick Cabernet tonight, I would have decanted that wine probably at the least at 2 o'clock this afternoon. Because I know at such a young stage, this wine needed so much time in the decanter. And I will probably have double decanted it. That would have been my strategy. Decanted for 2 hours. I would have put it back in the bottle, put it back in the decanter at 4 o'clock to give it another 2 hours after that. That Enovino did the exact trick like this. This is magic. This is freaking outstanding tool.
So
kudos
you'll see these in tasting rooms all over Canada because someone out of Niagara actually helped design it from the industry. And tasting rooms have this problem because they got to open a wine and serve it. They don't have time to decant like 5-10 different reds.
Oh, like Rob Hammersley is saying, right? You fix my problem with decanting the syndicate every single day. And if let's say I have to decant another one at 3 o'clock, and not sure if I'm going to go through the whole bottle, well, I have to put it back from the decanter back in the bottle when I close the tasting room. And what's next? The next morning, the wine, it's like it alterates the wine when you do that. So with the Enovino, boom.
One at a time. So yeah, I am loving this one. You know what I'm getting on the Enovino Cab Sauv versus the one that hasn't? I'm getting more like spice in the middle. There's just so much more complexity there. It's really cool. So
yeah, it's cool. The
party trick number 1, Mira's party tricks.
Enovino.
Blind taste people with an Enovino. Party trick number 2, which takes a hell of a lot more time. Sandra Oldfield, who founded Tin Horn Creek, she taught us this one. She's like, if you ever want to age a wine by like several years, stick it in the back of your car in the trunk for 2 or 3 weeks. Or if you don't have that much time, stick it in the back and go drive up and down a gravel road like 20 times. And that will have the same effect as aging your wine. So does the Enovino. It has the same effect as kind of like aging it and smoothing out the edges. But it's instant and you don't have to drive your car. We know how expensive gas is these days. So
there's also the chance of cooking the darn thing. So you know what? I rather pay $40 for an Enovino and just call it a day.
Yeah.
So I think that you went crazy and you've decided to do a free shipping for the Enovino, right?
No, what I did in the thing there, we'll see if it worked, but there is a link. Let me see if I can post it in our comments.
By the way, this wine is really good. I am super excited to feature that new wine in November. So it's going to be a new feature. Maverick will be one of the very, very I think the only winery that we're going to feature twice this year. They're going to have, we featured them in January, but it was such a member's favorite that when we had a chat and we knew that the 2020 Bush Vine was coming out, and she said, Carl, there's a new cab and a new 100% Merlot as well. I was like, okay, let's do it. So we're gonna do a redo of Maverick with the new releases. So it's pretty cool.
Sometime this fall, hey. So they haven't ever done 100% Cab Sauv?
No, it's their first.
Oh, that's so.
Yeah, it's their first 100% cab. Yeah, absolutely. And this winery is becoming more and more I've seen so much traction about Maverick since we started, since we featured them in January. They're having the quality of their wines is absolutely up there. The quality of their tasting rooms, like the staff and everything happening out of Maverick, they're killing it. They're absolutely killing it. Andrew Windsor, the winemaker, owner, is doing such a terrific job. Absolutely amazing. So, yeah.
It's pretty awesome.
So we have a good friend, Brian Schmidt here, owner, vigneron, winemaker at Vineland Estate. Brian is on. Good evening, Brian. Is the last meal we'll do a second release. We had a lot of fun featuring Vineland Estate's wine. Definitely, Brian. We are super thrilled. We'll be super thrilled to do a little something else with you. And again, I have to contact you about the legacy wine. We want to do something cool and unique. And I had some chat about legacy with the people at Alfred, that system for private collector in Quebec. So anyway, we'll
Project. So what exactly is that legacy? Because you were chatting with Brian when we met in Niagara, and you guys chatted about the legacy. I know you were super excited, but I didn't catch the whole conversation. So it was something.
The legacy is a project.
There.
Something happened when someone asked Brian about the story of the vineyard, the Cap Franc vineyard, where he's growing his Cabernet Franc, and he said, "Can you give me a little bit more of the typicity of the vineyard? What's highlight that vineyard? Which kind of flavor profile can I expect out of that vineyard? What's very special about it?" And Brian said, "Well, you know what? He just tried to have a clear answer for that person." And he's like, "Okay, depending on the vintage, it would be different. Depending on the so there's so many components who can change." So we had that idea to do a multiple vintage wine. So it's Legacy is a project of 10 years of Cabernet Franc blended together from one single vineyard. So if you want an answer for that very question that I asked earlier, what's very special or how this vineyard can be defined, well, that's the answer. It's a 10-year blend of, it's not where a specific vintage influence, where Mother Nature does not influence directly the result at the end of a 1 year. No, it's a story of a vineyard over 10-year period. This is never been done before. This is a really cool idea. And yes, Clay Martin, absolutely. So we had the privilege to talk about that. There you go. And every year is throwing a little bit of the new vintage in it. So it's becoming kind of a Solera type of process. So yeah, really, really, really cool stuff. And what I want to do with Brian, that I really have to connect with him, I want to do a live. I want to open one live. And maybe if he has a little bit available, so we can put it as a special, something special for Carl's Wine Club member. But I want to taste it live with him so we can tell the world, we can tell Canadian wine lover the story of Vineland, but the story of that very specific vineyard and the idea behind. I just think it's absolutely unique and like so cool. So yeah. That's what I want to do. But for that, Mira, if you can send me a reminder tomorrow, connect with Brian for the Legacy project.
Totally.
So yeah, Brian says done. Yeah, I can't wait. I just yeah. Anyway, so that's for
here. I'm just gonna put an. Oh shoot, that's not possible. Here, I'm just gonna put a picture up on the screen really fast of what it looks like. Thanks, Brian. That was awesome. Yeah, Mike, that visit we had with Brian at Vineland is something I will always remember. This is why we want to do.
That's a true definition of tailgating. The true definition of tailgating. That's what we've done with at Vineland with with Brian and Rob Amersley, owner winemaker at Black Market, Al Dupuis, who's the marketing director at Vineland. That was a very unique day. Mira was with us, Rob's wife, Mike Lapland, the average wine enthusiast, and his wife. So it was a good group of people.
Yeah, so this is the wine here. Or is that the wine? No.
No,
Can't see the bottle, I guess. I don't know. This was
yeah,
just
the
an
one behind, I guess.
yeah. Oh, and then here they're talking about tin horn. I don't know. This is just an article. But anyways, you get the idea. With each year that passes, a part of our history remains sealed in time in every bottle. So it's pretty cool concept. And Solera, is that like a different brand that does this? Like, what's Solera? I keep hearing this. It's a Solera.
Solera is a technique. Solera
Oh, okay.
is how they do in Italy. So it started in Italy. It's an Italian process where every year you have your base wine, and every year you just add more from the new vintage. It's called the Solera system. So, so yeah. So in a nutshell,
So
like
that wasn't the
long, like a short answer to a very long process, but
okay.
it's Italian, from the Italian culture, winemaking, and it's the process of adding into your base wine a new component each and every year. So yeah, so that's what Solera means.
Okay, okay. And that was the one I showed was not the bottle. This is the bottle.
Yeah.
I'll show it in a second. But yeah.
Anyhow, so yeah, so we have
you. That would be amazing. He said he's happy to do a live in the vineyard and taste with us. So that would be amazing.
There you
See,
go.
this is why I want to do a show, and we're working with Bell Media right now to see if that might be possible through one of their grants to allow us to go coast to coast, tasting Canadian wines and incredible projects like Legacy. Like, people need to know about this stuff. It's awesome.
Exactly. It's like we always chat about that dream, right? And now it's the wheel is start spinning. We're finalizing the grant application with Bell Media and see what's coming out. But hey, tasting Tidal Bay wines with lobster in Nova Scotia with some fishermen and winemaker from Nova Scotia. How freaking cool would it be to put that on tape and to freaking like Anthony Bourdain style, right? Like, and to showcase that to Canadian wine lovers. How cool would it be to be sitting with Brian in the vineyard with other winemaker or grape grower that he from the beginning inspired him, and a chef from Ontario where we're talking about the legacy program, or here in BC, Chad, in like tasting wine, some of the first wines from Tinhorn Creek with Sandra Oldfield, and some of the father of the industry. So anyway, that's the dream. That's what we have in mind about the series of touring Canada with Carl's Wine Club or something like that.
Exactly. And if you guys have ideas for us, let us know. We love to hear them. But yeah, this is the proper bottle picture of that legacy wine we were talking about.
There you go. You got it. You got it.
Yeah,
something unique and special that we'll be honored to champion that one of the presentation and make sure that everyone knows about that. And also, I know that there's something who goes for a donation or something like that after. Yeah. Anyway, so that's about the legacy.
Yes,
it's cool.
So I saw something about a portion of it going to Ukraine, and I don't know if that probably changes up, but it seems like there's a philanthropic aspect to it, which is amazing.
Look at what Brian says. My brother and I went to the North Pole with ice wine in 1993.
You're kidding! That is so cool. We need to recreate that because I've always wanted to see the Northern Lights.
Yeah, exactly. Let's go to the Arctic. Absolutely, Brian.
Carl's parents were just here and they just went to the Arctic. They said it was very rainy right now, so we'll go another time when it's not so rainy.
There you go. So Clay's coming in saying Osoyo Sokai with Maverick White Pinot.
That's
You guys
right.
got it. You guys are in our head. That's exactly what we try to
Iceland. Well, Debbie, this is actually the next step, right? I think we need a primer in Canada. We need to go and do all the bucket list experiences in Canada with all the bucket list Canadian wines. And then I think we need to take it international and take the most amazing Canadian wines to the most amazing international destinations and eat and drink them there.
No, what I want to do is to go walk in Montrachet in Burgundy with one of a bottle of Brian Schmidt Boutique Vineland Boutique Chardonnay unfiltered, and talk with the vigneron in Burgundy in Montrachet, and just pull that out of my bag and blind taste him on that, and he say, "Ouh putain, ouh merde, c'est très bien ça," or to take a Maverick Renegade and take it to and take it to Tuscany, and blind taste a super Tuscan producer and say, here is what we do in Canada. So something like that. That's another idea.
I love that too. I love it too.
Pierre.
Quand tu viens avec une Perrier, it's actif.
Hey, Pierre, le carnaval with Bonhomme, hein? Un peu de caribou avec Bonhomme, boom!
It's very Canadian.
Oh, wow, that show just took a different turn. That was not the plan. We're talking about decanting your wine versus a pop and pour. How different it
so
is.
you can see the difference between decanting your wine with an Enovino and not. The difference is that I drink the one that has been Enovino'd a lot faster than the other one.
So and that's the Enovino here.
There's I like it more.
There's a silicone rim here, so that fits every single neck. It doesn't warp because it's stainless steel. It's also dishwasher proof. So
it doesn't warp. Is that what you said? Yeah. So this is why this exact product was designed in Canada, was because tasting rooms were having a hard time with those other aerators out there that are plastic. You put them in a dishwasher, especially a commercial dishwasher, and boom, they warp and they melt, and then they don't fit in your bottle properly, and then they leak all over when you try to pour it out. It's terrible. So this one doesn't do that, as far as we know, and we use it a lot. So
see, I just had
my God, Clay, you're making me hungry. Northern Pike.
Jesus Christ, every time someone mentioned Pearl Morissette Chardonnay, I had the no, I can't say that. Okay, no, I can't.
Okay, so what were you gonna say? Sorry, Carl, I interrupted you.
Yeah. I just had a sip of the non-Enovino one.
Yeah.
And the tannin are pretty aggressive, right? The tannin are just like grabbing me. Not at the point to rip my face off, but this is a young Cabernet. I get the oak a little bit up front. The tannin are aggressive. Not that, like, can't say that it's not expected, because it's a wine that has to be put in the cellar for a few years. But pass into the Enovino and boom, round, soft. The little tart cherry turns into cassis. The spice absolutely explode at the end. So the mid palate just rounded up. So yeah, a big difference.
To me, like, this one is not quite ready to drink yet, and we knew that. That's why we opened it, because we knew it's probably like not ready to drink yet. They told us it's not supposed to be drank yet. And then this one, I can totally enjoy that. And the only difference is that Enovino is that aerator. So what this tells me is it's going to age really nicely.
Oh, it will. This has at least 10 years behind that, and I see. It's from the 2020 vintage. 2020 has lots of potential. This is a big wine. This is a wine with great length. This is a wine with tremendous complexity in the mid palate. There's a nice sequence. Now, what I'm looking for is the oak to go take its place and settle down right there And so let's sit that wine for a few years. But Jesus Christ, that it's a beautiful wine. I love that cab. It's not a super powerful cab. It's a cab where I can see some nice precision. It's a cab where I would say where power and elegance meet. It's not overpowering. It's not there's some finesse in there as well, but it's still a big cab from the south of the Okanagan. Ripeness A1. There's nothing green in that cab. We're looking at ripe fruit, done deal. So yeah, really well made cab. So I hope you recorded that because we need to do the tasting notes after. So
Yeah, I'll just rewind and just write what you just said down.
so
Awesome.
yeah, so Enovino, these are stocked on the boat, so they're barely none available. We have a couple cases here at home. So I think Mira, I said that you're
Yes.
giving a deal to people.
So what it is yeah. So shipping prices have gone up. We know this. So what we're doing is a $5 flat rate shipping, and then $10 off if you order through our link here. So I'm posting the link, and this is the coupon code. Okay, here we go. Coupon code for $10 off is Wine Wednesday. So these make should be Wine Wednesday, all wine water. Sorry. There we go. So these make an awesome gift for anyone you know that likes wine. And they make an awesome stocking stuffer if you're thinking
Yes.
that far ahead. And they make an awesome party trick like we just did, where you can blind taste your friends and pretend like it's two different wines, and they'll probably believe you that it's two different wines. And then you'll be like, actually, it's the same wine, just with the Enovino. So it's a pretty fun.
Yeah, but it's also all outside of the giving it away or tricking people just to have it for yourself. Just to have it for you.
Best part.
Like having one in the drawer where you have your 2 or 3 wine opener, your sparkling stopper. You need an Enovino there. You need 2. I think we have 2 or 3 here, and it's to me is just like part of our daily wine tool.
Well, here's the thing about the Enovino. You need at least 1 or 2 for yourself. And if you think about it this way, before we had the Enovino, we literally used a $400 decanter. And then we had another one that was like a cheaper decanter I found at a yard sale or something. And so
The lemonade jar.
And then we broke another decanter. We had like a nice Riddell decanter, maybe $150, $200. And we smashed that bad boy by mistake. So with this, it's pretty indestructible. It's pretty hard to break. You stick it in your dishwasher, and it's like $45. And you can get it for $10 off tonight. So it's pretty good.
Let's talk about decanters. I'm sure that everyone has the same pet peeve with the decanter is to clean the darn thing, right? Everyone saying, oh, don't wash your decanter with soap. Don't do this. Don't put it in the dishwasher. Can't go in the dishwasher.
Don't put vinegar in it. I almost put vinegar in it because Carl was like, don't put vinegar in it.
The fuck are you doing? Right? So yeah, with the decanter, my biggest pet peeve, it's what after. Oh yeah, now it's time to clean the darn decanter, right? So anyway, we haven't used the decanter. We don't use the decanter too often around here anymore because we have the Enovino. So and it pours perfectly. That's the other thing with the Enovino, like the pouring, the spout, it's absolutely perfect, right? So perfect spout, perfect fit for every neck. It can be a Bordeaux bottle, a fat ass bottle, Burgundy, or
now there are a couple places where you don't want to use the Enovino, right?
Yeah, with a very old wine.
Yeah.
Like if you have, like let's say we cracked lately. We
That's
lately
awesome.
we cracked a 2002 tin horn Syrah. But guess what? I did not pass that into the Enovino. For the older wine, when you know they're past the peak of their curves, they're on the tertiary, they're more on the aging part, right? So these you leave them alone. You just enjoy them where they are because you have aged them all of these years to get to that point. Well, you don't want to like,
Overdo it.
yeah,
And then
exactly. You don't want to fast track the death.
you
Like,
go to this part of
basically you
the
don't want to fast track the death of your
yeah.
wine. So if they're there past the peak, don't use your Enovino. But everything before the maximum window of drinkability, the peak zone, get that in the Enovino to get him right up there. So
Yeah.
yeah,
And then of course you don't want an Enovino sparkling because it'll take all the
makes
bubbles out.
makes sense, right?
Probably.
That speak for
Yeah.
itself.
Unless
So
you've got like an overactive some kind of sparkling, but even then
now,
I don't know.
even then, like you put it in your glass and
So
you just
sweet,
swirl the glass. Yeah, it's pretty obvious. It's pretty obvious. It's right away, and especially with that wine, it's like the evidence jumped out of the glass on the nose, right? You can
yes.
see the the fruit component is much present on the Neonobino one. I had much more graphite, cocoa, tobacco on the non-Enovino. And when you pass it to the Enovino, these are much a little bit more on the cherry, Bing cherry, cassis, with these licorice, tobacco, and all of that, not at the forefront, coming through behind a little bit. So
Yeah. Yeah, no, I totally agree. And this is the evidence right here, right? So which one did I drink first? It's the one with the Enovino.
exactly. So get your Enovino. We have a couple boxes left. I think we have like 36. There's not enough to supply any wineries for the rest of the summer. We don't know when the next shipment coming. So get your Enovino, get your own, and try it. It's fun. That's what I like. And
Some, ooh, a little insider tidbit here. So Caitlin from Maverick is letting us know. Rumor has it you may see a 22 white Pinot Noir from Maverick.
yeah, I heard that through the
That's
grapevine
exciting.
already today. Yes, and yeah, I've been talking with the head office at Maverick, and we're putting some stuff together for November. So enough stuff to blow our members' socks off. Like just the bar is pretty high because Maverick to this date was one of the most successful offer this year, and now we're going back with the second one at the end of the year, so it's going to be really exciting. Caitlin, just so you know, if you just join us, we had the 2020 Cabernet Sauvignon open tonight because it was Cab Sauv Day yesterday, and the goal of the show today was to talk about decanting, talking about the Enovino, how this little gem, this little thing works. And we blind tasted Mira with a glass of pop and pour and a glass of wine passed through the Enovino. And the result is pretty exceptional. It's obvious. Pass your wine through the Enovino. It's like if you have decanted that wine for hours and is just shown the benefit of that little tool. So
And
that's
I
where
gotta
we're
tell
at.
you,
By the way, I'm
I don't.
giving a 92 points to that Cabernet from Maverick.
Ooh, nice.
I love where it meets between power and elegance. That's what to me the biggest feature. It's round. The Enovino did a great job. Uh, a great job into showcasing the fruits, taming down the tannin, because let's face it, it's a baby wine. This one is just crawling right now. So the Enovino absolutely tamed down all of the edges, and the wine is showing very well. Beautiful mid palate. I like the tobacco. I like the espresso coffee. I like that little meaty part. There's a nice floral on the front, but and also nice long finish and great complexity. Fantastic caps off who can show the world and every Canadian wine lover that you can ripen caps off properly in the south of the Okanagan. It's not even a question. This bottle of caps off, it's a shining ripeness, top notch, no question about it. No green part in that, so I love it.
This is awesome. You know what? Okay, so I got to tell you guys something. I can't lie, and especially after I've had a glass of wine. So I had this one with the Enovino. Love it. I had a harder time with the one without Enovino because, like Carl said, it's not really ready to be.
It's a little bit more austere. There's a certain it's a little bit more austere, right?
But let me tell you what I learned. What I learned is now that I know that it's way better with the Enovino, I swirl it around in my mouth more, and then it's way more enjoyable. And I try to aerate it with my mouth. But the Enovino does a better job. It's just in a pinch, I do it, the organic way, swirling around in my mouth for like 2 minutes. You get the same kind of enjoyment. But it'd be easier if I could just Enovino it and then sip it faster.
I love listening to you talking like that. Bad. Mm-hmm. So 6 o'clock. That was a great show. We have Brian Schmidt here with us, Clay Martin, Caitlin. You know what? That was a great show. Pierre Nollet was with us as well. So un gros merci à tout le monde qui nous a écoutés ce soir. Tous nos amateurs de vin francophones, un beau bonsoir. Si vous voulez des Enovino, on l'a sur la boutique ici. Le lien est dans le lien de commande. What's the deal here with the Enovino? How much do we let's just to tell people here right outright, what's the price?
So it's $44.95 plus GST only.
Yeah.
And you can get $10 off with Wine Wednesday as your code.
There you go. So great deal. Get your own. It's fantastic. And yeah, we had a great show. 6 o'clock. What do you want to do? Should we keep going until 6:30, or you want to go feed the kids?
Well, do you have like some oysters? We could open that cuvee from 13th Street.
Calm the fuck down.
Do you have? What do you have for me? I mean, no.
Can't open. The cuvee is not available tonight.
Oh,
okay? The cuvee is not available tonight. Well, maybe we'll see.
We'll see. Yeah.
We'll see. Oh, okay. A little bit. No. We can't shut down. We can't stop the show that much. We have to talk about what's coming up in the next couple of weeks. Next week. So now we've featured probably three BC wineries in a row for a very specific reason that we tried to avoid. We tried to avoid the heat, the big heat of July and August. BC wineries are the only one who can use ATS, temperature controlled transportation. So we stuck with BC wineries for the summer because we didn't want to expose the Ontario wineries to shipping across country to the very, very hot temperature of the summer, right? So next week, we're going to do first week of September. We're going to do a quick flash feature with Westcott. We have 2 3-pack, the Chardonnay terroir pack and the Pinot Noir terroir pack. Westcott Winery from the Beamsville Bench in Niagara. They are specialists on Chardonnay and Pinot Noir. So we're going to do that. 2 3-packs or combine them together for a 6-pack, 3 Chard and 3 Pinots from 2 different vintages, from the 19 and the 20 vintage. It's going to be a lot of fun. We featured that early in the year in January last year. Now we're bringing it back with different vintage. Ouais, yes, sir, mon Pierre. Westcott, c'est des champions de Chardonnay, especially the Butler's Grant 2020 Butler's Grant Chard.
That was something else, wasn't it?
One of the best Chard out this year that I've tasted. I would say with Thomas Batchelder, the West did Wismer Foxcroft West, one of my top. Also, Leaning Post, Grimsby Hillside, one of my other tops. So next week, Westcott coming out. And speaking about Leaning Post, in 2 weeks, full on Leaning Post for the first time. I am so freaking excited to showcase Leaning Post here from the, I think it's Lincoln, the first region coming off the QEW, the first stop that you can. So it's I think it's from Grimsby, actually, not Lincoln, but Grimsby. Leaning Post coming your way in a couple weeks. We have some absolute gem out of that. Senchuk Chardonnay, Grimsby Hillside Chardonnay. There you go.
Superstar. Yeah, he's doing some
Also a Syrah that blew. Like I blind tasted couple BC winemaker with Ilya's Syrah a couple weeks ago, and people were like, "Holy shit, where is that? Where's that come from?" So lots of fun here. It's coming up with Leaning Post, but next week, 3-pack, 3 different Pinots, 3 different Chardonnays, coming up from a flash feature with Westcott, and after that, Leaning Post. After Leaning Post, one of our new favorite from BC, the Silva wine, the Silva Vineyard and Winery is coming up. We're gonna do some pretty cool stuff with Richard Da Silva as well. So a cool month of September.
It's back to school. It's sadly the tail end of summer. So it's a good time to, try some new wines and find some of those reds that you might want to have on a stormy, rainy, windy, snowy, perhaps night by the fire.
Yeah, but and also like just briefly, we've tasted some new release from Lunescence from Summerland. Their 2020 Cap Franc, fantastic. Their new 2021 estate grown organic Rieslings, fantastic. Also, yeah, tons of stuff coming up. The fall with Carl's Wine Club will be pretty cool. There's real gem coming your way. So,
woohoo!
Okay. I need a glass of water badly.
Oh no.
Okay.
Well,
Canadian wine lovers,
dinner.
Carl's Wine Club members, all of you guys, thank you so very much for tuning in tonight. Talk to you next time.
Cheers.
Cheers.